Really, faced the camera for some days, possibly because have actually been very, very busy. But I know that not an excuse, uh, but I just have to do what is necessary because the information needs to be given out, and people needs to see or know the fact, needs to know it. I saw a news this morning that Scholes posted, maybe Scholes or maybe the media outlets, that one of the media outlets that posted it, that Arsenal could be the worst Premier League champions, in the history of Premier League. And I laughed. You know, I've never seen Paul Scholes say anything positive, anything good, anything like that is progressive about Arsenal since Arsenal started this, surge towards the title, towards winning and all that. He has been very negative. He has been very derogatory. He has been saying a whole lot of things to actually, derail Arsenal. But one thing that I love Arteta on is that Arteta has actually been ignoring the media. You don't see him talk anyhow. You don't see him blaspheme. You don't see him say shenanigans and all that. He just says positive things and moves on because he understands the fact that the media in UK is actually crazy. They support who they want to support and they bring down who they want to bring down, no matter how good that person is actually doing it. And I look at it like a Manchester United legend. I don't know. Well, I can call him legend because he won the Premier League multiple times, and I will give him that title. I will accord him because he won the title. But we all know, we've watched this football for a long time. The early 2000s, the late 2000s, early 2011s, 2012, and the likes, how they won the title. We understand the fact that, Fergie, how most of those referees, even came out later on and said when they see Fergie, there's a way they fret and the way they are always afraid because he has this fear that they usually see, and they just do their thing, according to the way Fergie wants it. And we saw how he won multiple titles, with a lot of mistakes from referees, mistakes from officials and the likes. One of them was 2010, 2011. And you look at it like, how did this Manchester United, how did they win multiple titles? I was looking at Giggs' profile and I discovered that Ryan Giggs won the Premier League title 11 times, man. And I look at him like, what exactly did he do as Ryan Giggs done that made him win that 11 titles? But, well, it was during the time that they were actually jumping on, referees, whatsoever that they enjoyed, and they just won multiple titles. Then now they are not winning like they used to win before. They become bitter, and it's crazy, right? Now they beat Arsenal just out of how many games? For the past 10 games, Arsenal has won 6. They only won 3 and drawn once. Now they've just won 1 now, which in 11 games they won 4. So Arsenal is still leading in the past 10 games. So if a team had to shrug off the fact that they don't want to be failures anymore, they don't want to stay at the back anymore, they don't want to suffer anymore, they want to stand up against bullies and the likes, and they want to win the Premier League title in any way possible, let them win. So what exactly is Giggs' problem? Manchester United that you support, that which is the team you play for, is out of 3 tournaments, out of 4 tournaments. Even the Premier League that they are on now, they are fighting to actually enter top 4. And the reason why they want to enter top 4 is because they want to attract players to come to them, because most players don't want to come to Manchester United anymore. Good players will not want to come to that team. A team that does not play in Europe, a team that, is being, dominated domestically. They've left domestic, laurels and all that for a long time. And now they just want to become relevant. It's crazy. You understand? It's very, very crazy. And I look at Manchester United 2010, 2011. They garnered just 80 points. Just 80 points. And they scored 78 goals. You don't understand. So why are they now saying Arsenal is now the worst, Premier League champions, if they become Premier League champions? And I'm like, what exactly is this? Where is this coming from? The goal difference was just plus 41. And now, let me now tell you the context. The context is that season, Chelsea imploded. Arsenal were young and flaky. Then Manchester City were not ready. They were not ready at all. Don't forget, 2010, 2011. Manchester City were not, ready. They were not ready to actually dominate the Premier League. It was until Pep Guardiola, Mancini came. Then after Mancini, Pellegrini. Then after Pellegrini, they had Pep Guardiola coming. That struggled in his first season, even though half a season, 2016. Don't forget thereabout. But now they had for after that they dominated the Premier League. You don't understand. They won it, consecutive times, and they beat people mercilessly. But that does not mean that anybody that wins after that is bad. Or anybody that wins after that is one of the worst teams. So it's just crazy. Then 2012, 2013, they garnered 89 points. And the one way or the other, they won a whole lot of games so late. So late. They relied heavily on Van Persie. Don't forget, as at that time, they rely on Van Persie. And don't forget, Alex Ferguson was actually aging at that point, and he needed a trophy so that he can actually live on a high. So he was actually doing everything at that point. A lot of things, bribing referees. I don't want to talk about things that I did not see myself, but what I watched, and World Web, Plattenberg, all of them just giving, a lot of decisions for Manchester United. And it was that they were defensively shaky, very shaky. They were winning games 3-2. They were winning games 4-3. Do you understand? 4-2. They were conceding. And it's just like, look at Leicester City, 2015, 2016. Bro, it's not far here. Nobody gave the whole thing to Leicester City. It came from nowhere and they won it. They won it with 81 points. And the possession that they had, or that they usually have in a game, is actually below, first half of the log. I mean, the table, the teams in the table, which means the first 10 teams had better possessions in that season more than Leicester City. But they won, and nobody shouted. They will sit deep. They played counter. Don't forget, Mahrez and Vardy running all around, and Okazaki had something behind them, and in one way or the other, they would just scrap a win, and that was all. They benefited from every club that season, because every club collapsed simultaneously. Arsenal collapsed, Tottenham collapsed, Manchester City collapsed, Manchester United collapsed, Liverpool was nowhere to be found, and all that. So how is Arsenal this season one of the worst teams to win? Looking at in Europe presently, Arsenal has considered less. You don't get, in Europe, Arsenal has only considered two goals. In the Premier League, they've only considered 16 or 17 goals. When others have considered 20 goals, Manchester City have considered a lot, Manchester United have considered a lot of goals. So what exactly is Scholes' issue? You don't get. And that's how it went. Chelsea's Mourinho too. And you discovered 2004, 2005. And they had elite points anyway. They had 95 points, and they have one of the best defense, in fact, the best defensive record. They only considered 15 goals, which Arsenal was people were thinking that Arsenal is going to break it this season, and Arsenal can't break it now. And I'm not sure anything can break it anytime soon, because it's actually a perfect record. But we want to bring out the fact that there are loopholes too, even if they won the league so well, but there are loopholes. And look at it. They scored only 72 goals. They won games 1-0, 2-0. They will sit deep. The moment they score, Drogba score like this, or Crespo or Shevchenko, they score like this, they will just go back and start defending. And that would be this thing. It was anti-football with money, because they had money. Arsenal didn't have money then. Don't forget, Arsenal transitioned from Highbury to Emirates at that point. They built a new stadium. I understand the fact that it's not Arsenal, it's not only Arsenal that built a new stadium. Other teams built, but what I'm talking about is that at that point, Arsenal chose to build a new stadium and move from Highbury. And one way or the other, you can't fault Arsene Wenger for that. Chelsea 2009, 2010, goals galore. Yes, they were scoring with fun, 6-0, 5-0, and the like, but they were defensively chaotic. They benefited from Manchester United and Arsenal's inconsistencies. So now tell me, from all these things that have actually broken down, how did Arsenal become, or is going to become, the worst team to win the league? Yeah, it's a question. Guys, It's a question I'm throwing to the house now. How? This season, Arsenal has scored many goals. This season, they are top of the UEFA Champions League log. Perfect. 7-7. Now they are playing tomorrow, Karat and Mati, which, is possibly a win for us now. It's going to be 8-8. Because Karat and Mati is, the last team on the log. I think 36, 30 something thereabout. And that's how it is. So tell me how Arsenal has played bad. Arsenal has only lost 3 games this season. Yes, cool. They tried to scrap a win through, corner kicks. They tried to, dominate through, bullying the keeper, bullying the defenders, and the one way or the other, the whole thing, the whole goals come, scrappy goals and all that, from set pieces and like. Whether you like it or not, watch some games too that Arsenal dominated through open play. Look at Tottenham. Look at how Arsenal dislodged Tottenham. Look at how Arsenal dislodged Aston Villa. So where is the problem coming from? Where is the hate and bitterness coming from? I don't know. From all these Manchester United legends. I just don't want to, mention a whole lot of things that they said. Ferdinand said his own, Giggs said his own, the Neville brothers said their own. Owen said his own. Carragher of Liverpool even said his own. It is annoying that all of them are against Arteta's Arsenal. Whether they like it or not, Arsenal is winning the league this season. 4 points, yes. And if Arsenal beat Leeds again, they extend it. And it is Manchester City's Premier League to lose. So don't let me talk too much. I just have to break down why Arsenal isn't or is not going to be the worst team to win the Premier League. Thank you, guys.